Elegbete TV Radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen. You're listening to Elegbete TV and Radio.
All right, good morning and welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Idafe Matthew. You love to call me the Elegbete Owner Sports. Let's jog around the beautiful world of football and everything in between. For Chelsea fans, make it make sense to me. Why sign Joao Felix when you could sign a proven goal scorer like Victor Osimhen? It's Joao Felix. He's been here before. He wasn't considered good enough. That was why the loan wasn't converted into a permanent deal. So why do this? Is it just because of PSRO so that you let your player go? What's his name? Conor Gallagher goes. For me, he's an important player. Why not send Conor Gallagher to probably Napoli and then add it up to Lukaku and then get Victor Osimhen? I'm not the person in charge of business at Chelsea. I don't claim to know the whole business mantra of Chelsea. I also don't claim to be an expert in that area, okay? There are other things that I'm very good at, but I just think that somehow the Chelsea hierarchy are not prioritizing their needs properly. Maybe I might be wrong. Here. This is not a factual position. This is just a supposition or an assumption. I'm assuming, and assumption is the lowest level of knowledge, so I'm not going to stay here and say that I have expert opinion on this. I'm not on the inside. The inner working, sometimes what you see from the outside in every walks of life is completely a contradiction to what is happening on the inside. But Chelsea brought themselves to the market, and we are always going to talk about it. For those who say, every day you're talking about Chelsea, well, for 20 years, we've been talking about Arsenal as well. Okay, so if you're not doing well, if you're doing something that is untoward, people will talk about you. Chelsea is known as the gold standard of the English Premier League for a very long period of time. In that period, they won 2 Champions League, 2 UEFA Europa Cup, won lots of league title, League Cup, FA Cup, and they were the team that everybody wants to be like. I don't think right now Chelsea is the team everybody wants to be like. Manchester United also were once upon a time the team everybody wants to be like. Won 13 league titles, FA Cup, League Cup, UEFA Champions League. But for the last 11 years, they've been a shadow of themselves. Even in between, in that 11 years now, they've won FA Cup, they've won UEFA Europa Cup. Arsenal in the last 20 years. There was once upon a time to Arsenal was the team everybody wants to be like, the way they play, the team, the players they've got, the Thierry Henry, Robbie Perez, the late Rose, Antonio Reyes, Patrick Vieira, Gilberto Silva, Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, Ashley Cole, Fabregas, Danielson, Alexander Song, Alexander Kleb, Sami Nasri, Rosicky, Santi Cazorla, Mesut Ozil, Adebayor, Lord Bettner. But they also became the laughing stock of everybody's life. They're still the joke, the butt of the joke to this very moment. So for Chelsea fans, don't tell me, you're talking about Chelsea too much. No, we will talk about them. Like I said, I gave you guys 2 years to get your act together. Now it's time to talk about them. Somebody sent me this message. Let me read it. Very quick. I think I got it very early. I woke up to it, so it came in very early, but it was early. Okay. Freedom sent me this message and he said, somebody's name is Freedom. He said, Idafe, would you advise, if you are in good terms with Victor Osimhen, would you advise him to go to Chelsea, knowing that they are in this mess where everything seems to be in disarray? Even if Osimhen come, what are the guarantees that Chelsea will turn the corner and everything will be right? To be very honest, Freedom, I'll tell you this for free. Like, Chelsea right now, I don't think anybody should go near Chelsea. I don't think anybody should be excited signing for Chelsea, because let's look at it. The window closes. I don't know how many players they can move on, but I think there are about 15 unwanted players in the Chelsea team right now. There are about 15 or 10 at least minimum 10 unwanted players in the Chelsea rank right now. So please click on the like buttons, and if you've not subscribed, do it to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We're trying our best here. just use that as an encouragement to us. No, so we look at the Chelsea squad, and you say to yourself, you signed for this thing, and in the training ground, you see a fellow professional footballer who last season was a regular player in the team, who the season before signed for the club. Now they're telling them to go train in the under 23. Would something in you not tell you that it's possible that this is going to be me in a year time or 2 years time? And okay, now that's for those who have already signed. You're already in the marriage. It's hard to divorce. Okay, looking at Chelsea from outside, let's be very honest. If you have other options, unless in the case of Victor Osimhen, the only reason why I say go to Chelsea is because, one, if you go to Chelsea, you play regularly. There are no guarantees that you win anything, but you will play regularly. If you stay at Napoli, you will not play. So it's between the devil and the deep blue sea right now. So you will have to go to the deep blue sea and ignore the devil, or probably try to fight the devil. So for Osimhen, it's a unique situation. It's not a general situation for everybody. The question here is, the coach, Enzo Maresca, is a Spaniard. And this might sound obvious that he's a Nigerian. That's why he's thinking like that, right? He's a Nigerian mentality. Why is he thinking in that? It's an Italian, sorry. It's not Spanish, it's an Italian. Enzo Maresca is an Italian. Now, let's get something straight. Victor Osimhen comes in from Italy and signs. I'm playing the devil's advocate here. This is not me saying this is how it is going to be, but I'm just playing the devil's advocate. I'm trying so hard to pretend that I can understand the what is going on in the head of this coach. He was born in Italy. He's an Italian, and so Maresca somehow he also worked in Spain. He's worked in England, and he's gone around the system, right? So you just want to ask yourself, who would he prefer between, because this is not a loan deal. I'm not sure the how do I put it now? I'm not sure Joao Felix is not a loan deal, so it's a permanent. Who would he prefer between Joao Felix and Victor Osimhen if or when Victor Osimhen comes in? Because from the conversation that they are having, there is still room for Chelsea to bring in Victor Osimhen. And why am I laughing? I'm laughing because a squad that have 45 plus players, they still have room. There's still more room in those jeans for Victor Osimhen to come in and possibly another one or two players to come in. They are really setting up a congregation here. But I mean, let's look at his club career and how he's moved from Juventus to Fiorentina to Sevilla, Olympiacos, Malaga. There's a touch of Spain in the final part of his career. Then he returned to Italy and then, went on to become a coach. So I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying, is this a Mourinho kind of coach? Would he prefer to work with a black player? Well, people will say it's down to performance. If you perform very well, you would play. Joao Felix have been at Chelsea before. He understands the environment. Yet these are new set of players. They might not understand each other, but you understand the environment, the inner workings of the team. Victor Osimhen will come in, walk into this team as a complete new man. He's a fan of Chelsea. He's been a fan of Chelsea, but a fan and being there are two different things. Like when I went to Bayern Stadium last October, I saw things that I never thought were possible in European football, the way we read them. But hey, that's a conversation for another day. Now, so I'm looking, what are his chances? People say, okay, when he score. Okay, when he goes on that his goal drought that sometimes happens both at national team and at club level, what happens? There's a lot of questions that are there. It is not a QED, quite easily done. It's not a finite place where you say, okay, yeah, that this is, if he moves here, is plug and play. Like when you sign for Arsenal right now, Arteta brings you in. First, Arteta comes to you and talk to you that, look, this is my project. This is the role I want you to play in it. This is how I'm going to integrate you in. Let's start with Ramsdale. Ramsdale was called by Arteta and he told him, you're going to be my number one. I said, what a Ben Leno, don't worry, I'll make you my number one. And he gave him the number one shirt for one season. And I mean, probably saw that, okay, it's not the ball playing goalkeeper that I really want. I'm going to get somebody else. Immediately, he went to get David Raya, his countryman. And you saw how he stood his ground, even against the might of the English press. That was his player. He wanted him. Now, now that there's a possibility that Ramsdale is going to Wolves on loan and for a possible permanent deal, another Spaniard is coming. Remember what I used to tell you guys, that every coach likes to sign players from his country. It's another way of repatriating money back to your country as as an upright citizen. Wenger was a typical example of it. You could say that as Alex Ferguson did do it, it's because Scotland players don't know how to play football, right? But at least Eric Lansing play for Man United, and you say, oh, he's Swedish, he's Swedish. Yes, he is, but Celtic connection, there was some money paid to Celtic there. I'm just giving you all of that. And we could go on and on and on and on and on and on with coaches that have done that, Portuguese coaches, Spanish coaches, Italian coaches, French coaches, and all that. But let's still hone in and zoom in on the possible Osimhen conundrum if he goes to Chelsea. So you look at the Chelsea team, there's Nkunku, there is Jackson. Jackson is not in the conversation. There's Joao Felix, and then there's a few other players. I don't know if Armando Broja will leave or not. If he doesn't leave, that's his problem. He goes sit down for bench, stay, not going to dress. So you look at all of those ones, all of those unrest, they will be in the camp, they will be in the team. They would, whether they train with the under 23s or you'll be hearing stories, grumbling, all those things. There, some of their friends will be in the dressing room with you, and one wrong statement might just cause a problem. One wrong, eyeball or insinuation, inference, and all those things might just cause a dressing room unrest. I don't envy Enzo Maresca right now, and it's no fault of his. It's the Chelsea hierarchy and how they choose to run their football business. I don't have a problem with that. Again, new season, same old Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, I mean, if you dominate a game the way they dominated the game last night, you are expected to win. It's just as simple as that. If you dominate that much, then you are supposed to win. I know that football is not played on paper, but what we saw on the field with that type of dominance or 61 hour of dominance, you are expected to win. Out of nothing, Jamie Vardy, who even in the FPL, he was reported injured, went there and equalized, and the story was a different story. Well, long story short, football it be like a biscuit, as they say. They know where it go break. But it was just strange for me to see Tottenham Hotspur draw that game, because from my own perspective, I thought that after Pedro Porro scored in the 29th minute, there was going to be a lot of goals. I thought Maddison played well. I thought quite a few of the players also gave their best, and it was a game that they were there to win. Johnson played well before he was substituted. Shalanka is a new player in the team. It's going to take some time. Yeah, we all know that. Son, also gave a good account. The three up front were good. Maddison was good. Maybe Bentancur not the way I want him. Ismail Assar also not the way I want him to play. But hey, on the Leicester side, if you look at Leicester today, it's a different team. Wilfred Ndidi was on for 90 minutes. We almost thought that Wilfred Ndidi would have moved, because there was plenty of story that he would move. Fatawu, for me, is the man of the match. He gave a good account of himself and played well. Jamie Vardy is Jamie Vardy. You just can't. There's something about Jamie Vardy anyway. Jamie Vardy and Leicester, even with one leg, is still way better than some other people's most informed players. But then that's how that game ended. So we look forward to the following matches that are coming ahead. Atletico Madrid went to Villarreal. There was 2-2. Valladolid beat Espanyol 1-0, but in Italy was where statements were made. Atalanta quickly jumped to the fore as they scored 4 goals in that game to make sure, you know what, it doesn't matter. For Atlanta, it doesn't matter whether there is Ademola Lookman or there is not Ademola Lookman. He actually asked to be left out of the squad. According to the story, he is planning a last-minute move to Paris Saint-Germain, and he doesn't want to go and play and injure himself. Well, coach, I don't think that they missed him in this game, because they won convincingly, 4-0 against Lecce, and it was a beautiful one to behold. Juventus also showed that, look, If Inter Milan drew against Genoa, AC Milan drew against Torino, it's an opportunity for us to put one foot forward, okay, to be up there among the best. And first match day that have gone, there were a lot of draws in the Italian Serie A than winnings. There are only 4 teams that won: Lazio, Verona, Juventus, and Atalanta. That's how the results were. Those are the only 4 teams that won, meaning that only 4 teams lost. Napoli lost their game. It's very, very sick way anyway. 3-0. They were beaten 3-0. I'm sure they'll be where they are and be saying to themselves, you know what, we need this Osimhen guy. We cannot just sit here and be pretending like all is well. All is not well, because at least somebody else there say, this Osimhen, if you let her go now, if it be problem, it's always Verona don't they beat us 3-0 like this. Game just starts. Game just starts. We never reach anywhere. We don't go Verona, go lose 3-0. Make we do well. Some of the players will not tell the coach, say, Koshila, will not say, now you be Conte. Now you be Conte. This Simeone, not get the kind of fight to Osimhen get to before I go let them go. If not plan, make we suffer this season, when I just let us know. But Conte be like, you know what, I'm bringing in Lukaku. Lukaku would come in and lead that line, and he would do what, I know him. He's worked for me before. I know what he can do, and we would change everything. We'll see anyway. Well, I don't know. Napoli is not one of those teams you actually start the season and you be like, oh, they are going to go out there and win the title. They win title once in every 10 or 15 years. Once every 30 or 20 or so years. So it's not one of those teams you really put your smart money on and say, okay, they are going to win the title or challenge for the title. It's not a big deal. Dele Bashiru, yes, somebody's telling me that Dele Bashiru played well. Yes, he absolutely did play well. So for Lazio, in case those who are asking what team he plays for, he gave a good account of himself. But let's look at some of the drama. Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville were in the studio making their predictions, but then there was also the talk of what should have happened at Chelsea. Chelsea is on the conversation everywhere now. Everywhere, Chelsea is on the conversation. Jamie Carragher actually said that players should stop signing for Chelsea. He said Enzo Maresca's squad continues to grow, and he just tell people, you know what, don't go there. Don't go there. You people should strike. Put a strike on Chelsea. I think that's a tad bit too far. In my opinion, I might be wrong. I think that's taking it too far. Come on, why would you say that? The offer you 350, even Jamie Carragher, and I tell him to come and work in NTA for 3 times the money is earning there with Sky Sports. He's not going to come. So what's all this talk? Make it calm down. Well, let's look at the news as put together by our very own Timothy Deimbo. And let's start with Steve Cooper. Okay, Steve Cooper is the coach of Leicester City. Leicester City manager Steve Cooper has expressed his satisfaction with his team's progress since taking over, particularly appreciating their openness to new ideas. Cooper, who took charge 2 months ago after Enzo Maresca's move to Chelsea, oversaw his first official game yesterday, a 1-1 draw against Tottenham Hotspur at the King Power Stadium. In his post-match comment to Bein Sports, Cooper said he's happy with how the squad has been performing and their willingness to adapt. Okay, the willingness to adapt. Let's hear from Steve Cooper.
Leicester TV Radio.
Really pleased with the attitude, engagement, and the willingness to take on new ideas and to give the best. The good set of players, and I'm really enjoying working with them. And like I said, it's the games that really needs to help us become the team that we want to be in the Premier League. And fortunately, we second half was a good help for that.
Yes, it said its own piece, and you have your chance to say your own piece in the comment section. Tell me what you think you're feeling about the Leicester Tottenham Hotspur game. You think that was a game? In football, was that 1 point gain for Spurs because they went away, or it is 3 point lost? Or 2 point loss because he actually went home with 1 point. What do you think? But then let's talk about one of the Spurs players, the one that everybody look up to deliver when it matters most. Tottenham Hotspur captain Son Heung-min shared his frustration after the team missed several key chances in their 1-1 draw against Leicester City last night. In a match where Spurs dominated, they struggled to convert their opportunities into goals. Speaking to beIN Spurs reporter Zaid Mansour after the game, Son admitted that their inability to be clinical in front of goal was disappointing and left him and the team feeling frustrated. We are frustrated. That's according to Son. You mean, not me?
It's very, very frustrating, especially first half. And even before we concede the goal, I think we dominate the game and we control the game really well. And still, I think in the first half we could make the game easier for us and make a final decision and find the right passes in the final third. But we didn't. So this is Premier League, when you're missing this clinical opportunity. And I think there's the team that always want to waiting for their chances. And I think that's what Leicester did. And it's very, very frustrated. And but it's another lesson, so you as a team, you want to be top, you have to be clinical, and when you're especially winning. So I think it was very, very frustrated.
Well, for me too, it makes me happy to see Spurs not winning, but as a neutral football person, sometimes you look at that kind of game and you say, this is the one that you should be winning. This is 3 points that's guaranteed. Because if you don't pick this 3 point now, it might come back to haunt you later, especially in the race for the top 4. Okay, you missed out on Champions League last season because you were too rude, too arrogant to help Arsenal. Not like you could beat Man City anyway, but you were celebrating not beating Man City so that Arsenal doesn't win the league title. It's not the first time anyway. They've done it before against Man United. Remember some years ago where they scored against Man United and they refused to celebrate the stadium. Everybody were sad that Teddy Sheringham scored against Man United until Man United scored and equalized, and then they won that game and Arsenal lost the title. So it's not new Spurs doing that, sabotaging themselves just so that Arsenal doesn't make progress. You could see like that's the only club in the world that is real enemy of progress. Okay, but hey, sometimes they do it to haunt themselves. But looking at them yesterday, from what I was looking at, I was like, okay, they should have won this game. Come on. For football's sake, they should have won this game, because it helps you as an analyst to say, okay, if Spurs played to this level against an opposition that is on this level, Spurs will definitely win. But when Spurs are here and the opposition are here and they still end up drawing the game, you start asking yourself questions. And then sometimes it's luck anyway. So it's not just, hey, does that make Spurs a bad team currently? No, I think that Ange Postecoglou is a good coach, but I just think that mentality of Spurs, that thing that I've also kept Arsenal out of the title race for many years, is also the kind of thing that is happening with Spurs. There is really no push. Okay, look at Mbappe in Madrid, for instance. They drew that game, and fans are already atting him. In Paris, if they draw a game like that, nobody would even be angry. Oh, Mbappe is still king, he's still a golden boy. You see the difference. Okay, that's one of those things you need to understand with mentality. But let's go. Chelsea will always be in the conversation because the boys in blue are the sweetest topic to have right now. The king of clickbait, and all that. Gary Neville, a former Manchester United player, Manchester United legend, and football pundit Gary Neville has expressed his belief that Arsenal can win the league this season. Speaking on Monday Night Football on Sky Sports, Neville, who backed Arsenal last season, reiterated his support for the team, stating that they are getting very close to achieving that goal. His faith in Arsenal is very, very strong. Could it be because of his hatred for Man City, his dislike for Man City, and he's not wanting to see Man City do 5 straight? Sometimes it's not just necessarily because you like Arsenal, it's because, Spurs fans would always want anybody that beat Arsenal to be on their side. It could just be that reason. I don't know, but Gary Neville have got this to say. Do you agree with him or you disagree with him? Let's hear him anyway before you agree or disagree.
Reasoning last year was the coming off the back of the treble for City, thinking that might have an impact on them at certain points in the season, the demands, the expectation, maybe the injuries, the games they played, but they're unbelievable to do what they did. I think they won the last 9 games, didn't they, which is just special. And Arsenal had the most incredible season, so I wasn't a million miles away. They're just getting better. They're
points away.
Yeah, they're getting nearer. And I don't know, I feel they'll do it. I feel they'll do it at a certain point. And look, you can never write. He could 100% be right because of what Pep Guardiola does. He wins all the time. But I feel that Arsenal are getting so close and they're so consistent. that this could be the year.
Well, for me, if you want to stop Man City from winning the title, quickly get them to lose 5 games. Yeah, because since 1992, I don't know. Correct me. I stand corrected. Correct me if I'm wrong. No team have lost 5 games in the Premier League and won it. Last season, Arsenal were 4 defeats until Aston Villa. And if they had survived Aston Villa, they just might as well win the league title. So the standard bar of the Premier League is avoid losing 5 games. You could draw or whatever, but just don't lose 5 games. You lose 5 games in the Premier League is as good as forgotten. You cannot win the league. Okay, nobody's won the league after losing 5 games. Okay, I don't know, maybe there are some that I've forgotten, but let's go to this one. This is the one where Gary Neville is talking about Arsenal, but Jimmy Carragher is feasting on Chelsea. Liverpool legend, call him legend, yeah. Liverpool legend and football pundit Jimmy Carragher has stated that Chelsea needs to halt their player signing and the players themselves should reconsider joining the club. Speaking on the Monday Night Football show on Sky Sports last night, Carragher emphasized that Chelsea must put an end to their ongoing spree of signing. I don't know if you guys have seen that CBS where Alexander Dupero came in. I was mimicking Carragher. Internationally. Man, that's Dupero guy. I've got glasses. Jesus. I wish I was living with him. I think we have the same facial frame. His glasses will fit me. But hey, we're not living together. I think I need to do something like that. I need to go on a glass trend. I used to be like that when I was in secondary school and university as well.
Chelsea have just got to stop buying players, and players have got to stop signing for Chelsea. I don't know why, if I was a player, I would look at that Chelsea project. Why would you sign? The only reason why you would sign is because someone might say, your agent might say, we're getting a 7-year deal on big money. That's guaranteed money for 7 years. You know what I'd say? Back yourself as a player. Sign a 4-year deal at a proper club and back yourself to do well. And then when you're due for a renewal, your money goes up anyway.
This is radio like you never heard before. Elegbete TV Radio, the pathfinder for radio.
Somebody said that Man United won the league with 75 points. Please send me the year so that we can check and see. It could be a lot of draws, not necessarily 5 defeats. Okay, let's check the year and be sure what happened that year. A former Chelsea player, a Leicester player, Chelsea player. No, he didn't play for Chelsea. Former Leicester, England, and Liverpool. Yeah, that's what he played for. He didn't play for Chelsea. So let's get him talk about Chelsea, right? Former England striker and Leicester City's women's head of football development, Emily. When your name is Emily, they will send you to women's side. Emily SK has questioned why Chelsea keeps signing so many players when their own academy produces top talent. Speaking to Bennyman Sports YouTube TV, SK expressed his opinion that Chelsea's academy is more than capable of developing quality players, making the club's frequent signings unnecessary. Let's hear from Emily.
You're talking about signing the best young players. They've got the best academy. Between them and Man City, who's better? Who's got a better academy? No one in the country's got a better academy. So surely they should have that best talent there. And when you look up and down the actual the leagues, you see ex-Chelsea players in there. You go to AC Milan, you got an ex-Chelsea player there. You go to Roma, you got an ex-Chelsea player there. So they're actually producing them. Why do they keep having to buy them? That's my only thought process on that. You've got some of the best players. You're winning the FA Youth Cup. You're winning the leagues. So inevitably you got the best players in your youth setup anyway.
I think he's got a very good point there. I think he's got a good point because somehow players, I mean, you can't convince me that Joao Felix is better than Tammy Abraham. On a very honest conversation, you can't really convince me that Joao Felix is a better player than Tammy Abraham. I won't agree. So why get a Joao Felix? So there are players in the academy, but I understand football. Sometimes there are some things in football that are not explainable. No matter how you try to analyze it, no matter how you try to think about it, it's just not there. Coach, sometimes clubs sign players because how do I put it? They sign players because it kind of like give them this feel of, oh, we are competing with the best. We're signing the best players, so give us that quality. If you bring up that player from academy, it doesn't do anything. But FC Barcelona brought players from academy and they dominated the world. Sergio Busquets, Iniesta, Messi, Xavi, what's that guy, Pedro. A lot of those players came out of the academy and they dominated. But you could also argue that the foundation was built with the Ronaldinho, the Deco, the Samuel Eto'os, and the rest of them. But those guys became the core eventually, and they dominated. So sometimes you've got to trust your academy players, and then maybe just spar them up a little bit. But hey, Chelsea have what they are doing. But if you want to call a spade, what Chelsea is doing right now doesn't really look like football business. A lot of things are not right. Okay, so 2 seasons ago, they brought in Raheem Sterling and gave him this long contract. Now, you went to preseason, you had a very good performance as in your preseason. I think that now, yesterday we talked about it from a different perspective on the views from the stand. And if you're watching that content show, thank you very much for joining in on that. And always adding your comment to it. It's also nice. What's it called? Somebody said it's 1996-97 season. I want to say something, I beg. Yeah, because sometimes I stand corrected. Okay, they lost 5 games actually. Man United lost 5 games and won the league title. So that's the season anyway where that happened. So there's a deviation from the rule. Man United lost 5 games in 96-97 season with 75 points. They won the league title. Okay, so I stand corrected. That's an exception to the rule anyway. But the general rule says you don't lose 5 games and win. Okay, so that's a correction. Thank you very much, Lord Mayor, for that one. And let's push it further. Another player, a striker of repute, a strong man, and who everybody will look at. Once upon a time, broke the record transfer with 30 million. Our football. When Alan Shearer was signed for 30 million, the whole football world was in disarray, was shouting, "How dare you! 30 million for a player!" Today, nobody wants to sell their player for 30 million. Premier League's all-time top goal scorer and pundit Alan Shearer has urged Chelsea and their fans to be patient with Nicholas Jackson. Like I said, exactly what I said. After Jackson missed some big chances in Chelsea's game against Manchester City on Sunday, Shearer, speaking on the Rest is Football podcast, said patience might be needed, though he questioned how much the club can afford to give. He also suggested that Chelsea might still need to consider signing a top striker, especially with the ongoing rumors linking them to Victor Osimhen. Music to my ear. Okay, Alan Shearer, let's hear you.
Right about Nicholas Jackson at the end. They're gonna have to be really patient with him because he's very raw. There's no doubt there's ability there. Mm-hmm. It's going to take time for that to come out in full. Whether they can wait and whether they can be as patient as they're going to have to be remains to be seen, or whether they'll bring a forward in between now and in the end of the transfer window. There's talk about Osimhen going in there. I think to get where they want to go, Chelsea, they need to get a big hitter up top, because at times it's going to be frustrating.
Yeah, well, they need TV radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen.
Well, a striker has spoken. Another striker spoke about them looking at the academy. Everybody, have you noticed that once you have problem, everybody have an opinion about what you should do? So what you do in life is avoid having problem. Having problem that would necessitate public conversation around you. While all these people have spoken and spoken well, let's look at what's speculating in the transfer market. I mean, the days counting down. It's about 9 days now or so to the end of the window. If I'm not mistaken, we don't have too much. Okay, 10 days. 10 days to the end of the window in England, and 10 or 11 days to the end of the window. And in this space, this is where fast track begins to happen. This is where conversations go from we submit a bid, you reject it. No, this is we were doing or we're not doing. This is we want that one or we don't want that one. This is I'm putting in a transfer request. I am tired of waiting. So a lot could go on. Raheem Sterling my move. If I am Raheem Sterling, I will not move anyway. I think he's earned the best of medals that he can earn in football. I will not move. I would hold my ground. £350,000 a week. And I'm thinking that Chelsea just woke up and realized this is my own thought. I didn't read this anywhere. This is just me computing things in my head last night. And I was saying that they just realized that, you know what? Let's even take a risk on Victor Osimhen. Let's go for this Victor Osimhen deal. How do we do it? Let's frustrate Raheem Sterling, get him to move. £350,000 a week is what he earns. If we take him off the wage bill, that wage bill will breathe easy. And if he moves, we could get a little money for transfer. So we have Victor Osimhen, we have Joao Felix. We're looking like Liverpool attack is better. So they just woke up. They started the season wanting Raheem Sterling to use his experience to guide his team. But then I think last minute they just had that meeting and say, you know what, frustrate him out of the club and let him commit himself and do things that will make him leave. And then we get that wage bill off the club. Don't forget that as we speak, Chelsea are still paying Graham Potter and Mauricio Pochettino their weekly wages because they have been kicked out of coaching the team, but they have not concluded documentation for severance package. So they are still getting paid every week. So the way they have 8 goalkeepers at this rate, they have like three top class coaches who are there. And then if they decide to go coach other teams, then the conversation will change. But let's look at what's going on with this. For Pochettino is with the US men national team, but that still doesn't stop the salary that he's getting from Chelsea. Okay, Wolves have submitted a proposal to sign England goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale on loan from Arsenal with an option to buy next summer. Okay, Chelsea and England forward Raheem Sterling, 29, has been the subject of an inquiry from Juventus amid uncertainties over his future. We've been saying that. We said that on the Views from the Stand. In case you missed it, you can go back and watch it. This is a conversation that I've been on for the past 3 weeks, but let's see how it goes. Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal have Manchester City's England defender Kyle Walker and Portugal fullback Joao Cancelo on their transfer wish list. Menalo is working some wonders there. Manchester City are interested in a move to resign German midfielder Eke Gundogan, 33, from Barcelona after Barcelona told him, Oga, you have become persona non grata. We don't need you anymore. It's time for you to leave. It is hasta la vista for us. Okay, go find yourself another club. But then there are also clubs in Saudi League that wants him. So he's not one player who is short of admirers and interest. So there is interest all over the place. It is up to him to say, you know what? I think I want to go back to my home. Ilemi. I want to go back to my home, or I want to stay here and try and build something. So I need another Spanish team to come in. Or let's go and take some money from Saudi Arabia. Some of these guys who've gone to Saudi Arabia have really collected a lot of money. So let's go and see. Well, all that said, please click on the like buttons. I'm not sure we're really doing that bad. We might not be your banter house, and I know that this generation, you guys like the banter thing. If anybody that is bantering is who you're giving your like and your follow and your subscribing and all that, but please consider this channel a place where you get like quality analysis, old school. We are still old school hardcore. It's like rap and trap. Okay, we are the hardcore rap, and then there are places where you go for the trap, but it's still music. Okay, but just consider us as a place. There used to be a music shop in Warri near Main Market back in the day, opposite Main Market, adjacent to Main Market. Anyway, the man only produces old school music. When I talk about old school music, I'm talking vintage old school music. So when you go there and you want to record a Max 90 or Sony 60, some of you don't know what I'm saying right now. But I mean, some of the old guys in this place know what I'm saying. If you want to record that one, it will tell you, don't worry. I will give you the best. You don't have a playlist. Normally you write your playlist, you write your list, and you go and give to them, and then the DJ they would record for you. No, it's when you go to Omega Video Vibes or you go to Sam and Sam Airport Road or Omega Video Vibes Komagwa Avenue. You can send your list there. I want Luther Vandross. I want this one. I want John Cicada. I want Barry White. Others ones, I want Phil Collins. I want Michael Bolton. I want Gloria Estefan. All these names that I'm calling now, they're sounding like French names, sounding like Latin. Some of you people don't even know what I'm saying. But when you go to that place in adjacent to Main Market, Warisa Play Road, the man will just take your money you pay. They'll tell you go and come back. Maybe if you go on Monday, tell you come back on Wednesday, and on Wednesday you're there, your cassette is ready. Man, that cassette you treasure it, because it doesn't. The funny thing is, it doesn't. Normally they will give you list. If you record cassette, they will write it. So small handwriting, they'll write it side A and side B. This man does not give you that list. And now when I'm thinking about it, it's because it's trade secret. It doesn't want you to be able to. You can't Shazam. You can't even know the artist, but you just listen to some good old music. It's Sam Cooke, Clarence Carter, like the old guard, the old school. Like you just, this kind of music that you put on your bedside and you listen and you sleep off. You have the guys that are singing there, you don't know their name, but the sequence of the song, the cadence, the oomph of their song, the musical and the musicality of musicmanship of the way the sequence is going, you're like, God, the arrangement of the song, it's crazy. It was like, it's like when you watch Figo, Zidane, Boban, those guys, Kaká, Ricardo Kaká, all of these guys play football back in the day. The way you enjoy it as against watching Jackson, Martinelli, Bukayo Saka play football now, you're like, hey, yeah, they're playing football, but it doesn't really give you the push from your seat. A Bukayo Saka cannot put me on the edge of my seat like a Ian Robben would do, or a Frank Ribery would do, or a Marco Vamas, or a Ryan Giggs, or a Mark Hughes, or Ido Johnson. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but I'm just Judge Michael. Yeah, thank you very much. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but I'm trying to do compare and contrast. Now I watch football and I could be watching the game and I'm pressing my phone and I'm tweeting and I'm doing other things. I used to watch football and I'm glued. 2020 vision, full focus, tunnel vision, Mamba. No distraction. Everybody get out. But now you could even walk away from a derby match. Man United, Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Man City, Man U. You could walk away, go and buy something in the shop, come back. You know that they will not score within this period, this passage of play. And there's nothing you will miss. You could turn away for 30 minutes, be on the phone talking for 30 minutes away from the game, and you will not miss anything. You will still feel like you've watched the game. That's how football has dropped anyway. But let's go back to the transfer conversation and continue from where we stopped. Real Sociedad are refusing to lower their valuation of Spain midfielder and Arsenal target Mikel Merino 28. If Arsenal wants to sign this boy, sign him. If you don't want to sign him, then move on. Get out of this transaction. It's taking too long. Brentford expect England striker Ivan Toney to join Al Ali in Saudi Pro League and are hoping to receive about £50 million for the 28-year-old. You see, Brentford will get 50 million. Arsenal cannot even sell a player for 40 million. However, Chelsea could be tempted to make a late move for Ivan Toney. If Chelsea makes that move, Osimhen deal is dead. Fulham are considering whether to go back to Crystal Palace with another bid for 28-year-old Denmark defender Joachim Andersen. We don't know what will happen there. But I can say if Chelsea goes back for Ivan Toney, I know Ivan Toney will take it. It's London. No movement of family, no displacement, still within the same environment. Schools might still be the same environment. A lot of things will be, within the same environment because you have to consider all of those things as well. And his chances of playing in the national team might still be there. And then you can have Ivan Toney, Joao Felix, and there's still talk of Osimhen. That would completely die off completely. I can say that for free. So if you want Osimhen to go to Chelsea, start praying now that Chelsea does not turn their head and say, you know what, this have Anthony, let's even do it. 50 million is cheaper than whatever we're going to pay for Osimhen. His salary is also going to be cheaper than whatever we're going to pay for Osimhen. Yes, it's 28, but we can still have it for the next 2 seasons. After all the players that we're signing is only 2 seasons we get from them. After that, we frustrate them out of the club. Then by that time, some of that new striker would have come in and we would spend money again to get them in. Just think about it. So while this option is good, Chelsea, I mean, he's a player that is a proven goal scorer. He knows the Premier League. He's not going to try to adapt. The implication is that it might stop Osimhen from going the other way. So let's not forget that. And Fulham are also preparing to make a third bid for Manchester United 27-year-old Scotland midfielder Scott McTominay. At some point, you should know when a club is serious and when they are not serious. And I think that right now, Man United are serious. If you want to buy this player, put the money that they're asking for and sign him. If not, this coach, Eric Ten Hag, still wants Scott McTominay to be part of his team. I mean, as bad as last season was, it was one of the, if you count the top 3 best players in Manchester United, you could mention his name. I know that Kobe Mainoo and Garnacho came in towards the end of the season, but this guy was one of the most consistent players of the lot of players that Manchester United have played, especially considering the fact that they have tons of injury, 114 cases of injury, like the charges on Manchester City. Arsenal have rejected a bid of 25 million plus add-ons for 23-year-old England striker Eddie Nketiah from Nottingham Forest. Okay, I don't know what Arsenal wants to do. Okay, but I think the money is small anyway. Newcastle still believe they can sign England defender Maguire, 24, from Crystal Palace, but they are also considering Liverpool and England defender Joe Gomez, 27, along with Chelsea's 25-year-old English centre-back Trevor Chalobah. Manchester United are willing to wait until transfer deadline day to sign Manuel Ugarte, or Ugarte as some of them call him, 23, with the hope that Paris Saint-Germain will lower their £51 million violation for the midfielder. I don't hope so. United are working on season-long loan deal to sign Uruguayan international Ugarte, which would include an obligation to buy in 2025. Tottenham and Argentine midfielder Giovanni Lo Celso, 28, has attracted interest from Aston Villa, Real Betis, and AS Roma. Everton have inquired about triggering a €60 million, which is 51.2 million release clause for Atletico Mineiro's 18-year-old Brazilian forward Alisson Santana. Wow, €60 million for an 18-year-old boy. Okay, now human trafficking, what's the difference? Okay, Nottingham Forest are considering a fresh bid for Feyenoord and Mexico striker Santiago Jimenez, 23, after their offer of €25 million, which is 21.3 million pounds, was rejected. Wolves are monitoring Sheffield United, Bosnia and Herzegovina centre-back Anel Ahmedhodzic. Okay, Chelsea have informed Napoli they want at least €40 million, which is 34 million pounds, for Belgian striker Romelu Lukaku, who is 31 years of age, with the Blues set to reject a loan offer with a €30 million, 25.6 million pounds obligation to buy from the Italian club. Chelsea and England under 21 defender Bashai Humphries, 21, is set to join Championship side Burnley on loan with an obligation to buy. They are discharging them now. Burnley's Brazilian defender Vintinho, 25, has agreed personal terms to join Brazilian club Botafogo since he doesn't want to play in the lower division. He came to Burnley with the idea of playing in the Premier League. That's not working. He's not ready to stay. Well, that's good for players who know their worth, who also know that they have a league back home that can absorb them and give them a chance to play. Please click on the like buttons and let's push this like up as best as we can. Let me come to you guys now and see what you guys have got to say in the comment section. We've got 10 more minutes to the end of the show. Lord Mayor says, welcome to our community. Boss, for me, I don't think Chelsea will sign Osimhen. I won't give up until the window closes. That Felix signing just give me the indication that they will not sign him. Lord Mayor say having Osimhen and Felix in Chelsea will be hard because both players' wages will be high. I agree with you on that one. But if they can frustrate Raheem Sterling out, they would free up money. £350,000 a week is what he gets. Osimhen currently earns £253,000 a week. If all things being equal, if they get Raheem Sterling, it's just that the time on the window is very short now. If Raheem Sterling decide, you know what, I can sit it out. I don't really want to play football. If you want to frustrate me, I'll frustrate you people too. He can get there. But if his team will make money if he moves. So if his team say, you know what, you got to move, let's go to Saudi Arabia, somebody is willing to pay you £500,000 a week with your experience, with your brand, with all that, let's go, we can swing something, and then it can go as well. So it's not down to the people sitting around him, because it's like the same with Osimhen. People are sitting around Osimhen telling him that you're too big to take a pay cut now. Who you will take a pay cut? Come on, no, now. But they forgot that Mbappe took a pay cut to go to Madrid. Sometimes your career is more important than the money, especially if you've made some good money already. But again, some other time you say, you know, I don't want to do that. It's marks of desperation. It depends on the people that are speaking to you, and if you are the type that listen. So it's a bit not straightforward. It's not straightforward. It's cut in a lot of ways. So we're going to have to wait and see for this one. So I'm not going to be able to conclude yet, but we'll see. Tosilima, they say Chelsea team be like Rebel Group. I don't know my Chelsea club again. Olafat say good morning, boss. I think Osimhen is stuck between want and need. He wants PSG but needs leave Napoli, which is now more complicated than before. I agree with you on that one. Lord Mayor say Ademola submit a transfer request. He wants to force a move to PSG. Henry Moru says Spurs can't stop to be Spursy. Very good being shitty. Okay. Lord Mayor say Dele Bashiru played well too. Yes, I agree with you. Olafat says Zakaraga said he won't advise players to go to Chelsea, but later said it's because of the money. He can only accept them going. In all, money is still involved. Okay. Not York is solo. I don't to say good morning, Nidafe. Watching you from Toronto, Ontario. How's the weather? You should be sleeping by now. How you doing? How's the weather there? Okay, so this is summer. But I mean, don't be confused. Canada summer different from other people. Summer feel cool, feel freezing for Canada. Olafat says Spurs were not just clinical enough, but kudos to the Leicester goalkeeper Hammerson for his performance yesterday. He was definitely the man of the match. Lord Mayor says, okay, I think I've read that one before. Olafat say the glasses you use for the brand Ideye or which interview was amazing and fits you. I mean, I was wearing glasses for a very long time. People started asking me if I was having eye problem. That's why I stopped. Okay, I just woke up one morning. Why is everybody asking me if I have eye problem? My vision is good, but hey, I still like glasses. I like fancy glasses a whole lot. Now I'm not having issues with my eyes. Sometimes my sight get blurred, so I don't know if I will go back to wearing glasses anyway. But I like fancy glasses a lot. I've always wore fancy glasses from secondary school, in my university days when I was playing for Sharks. When I was in Sweden, I was always in glasses. But I don't know. I just stopped. I just woke up and I stopped because of too many questions. Lord Mayor say, man, you won the league with 75 points. Okay, yes, we've gotten past that one. Olafat said, okay, I think I've read that one as well. Chelsea, according to Olafat, say Chelsea and City have the academy, but recently they've not just been making use of most of them, but as a financial institution to settle the club finances. Okay, Yami Dana might say Liverpool have started well, so I'm really hoping they put Arsenal on their toes too. So the boys at North London don't lose focus. So I really want them to be contenders too alongside City. I think that's a good one. Additional Informa says, I pray Lookman moves to PSG. Yamida might say Victor Osimhen should have been the ideal signing for Chelsea, but I don't understand how and why it's Felix they are going after urgently. Maybe because they want to move on Conor Gallagher and Atletico Madrid to hold all the cards. You know, that could just be the reason. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. A digital informer said Todd Boehly business model is much to be studied. We really need to see the end result. Me too. I'm not concluding on him completely. I'm a bit confused myself. I don't understand it. I can't analyze it completely. But eventually, over the course of 5-6 years, we'll not add up all the numbers, the sold players, the signings, the return. Okay, profit. We'll check the profit and loss account, the salaries that have been paid, all of that, and then we would come to a conclusion. Right now, there is not enough data to really draw up a conclusion, but we'll see. Yami Dynamite says, but that Chelsea billionaire, no be like other billionaire. Todd has been pretty wasteful and is making me suspicious that he did blood money. Uncle E, I want you to conduct an investigation. Well, we'll still give him time. We'll still give him time to see. Because sometimes, and the thing about business people is most times they go on this crazy adventure. Don't forget that to some billionaires, certain things are a gamble, or like some spend the same amount of money in Las Vegas, some spend it on cars, some spend it on trip, on yachts, on private jet. So he's looking at it like there's something I tell people like, oh, you spend this much money on data, on internet, and I said, my friend, you that is talking, you spend this much money on Hennessy, Azor, and I don't do it. So there's a balance. You don't hold the moral candle on me when yours is there, right? Mine is not wasteful because it's what powers my business, it's what powers my learning, my education, right? So sometimes that's how I look at billionaires. Like, okay, let's study where this ship is going. The ship is currently in the middle of the Atlantic. We don't know where direction is going, and there are too many options. It could go to the Pacific, it could go to Southeast Asia, it could go to anywhere. It could go to Europe, it could go to the Atlantic, it could go anywhere. So to start narrowing them down and say, oh, this is what must happen with Jesse and the owner, it's hard. But if we are able to gather a 5-year data and say, okay, now we have established a pattern, this is what is happening, and nothing is going to happen. My suspicion is that Chelsea will end up with all those ban, all the transfer ban, all those issues, probe and the rest. But for now, I'm willing to wait. I'm not, because the worst place to be as a football analyst is to speak and then have to come back and apologize later. Yeah, that I'm the kind of guy that struggle to say I'm sorry. So you have to wait, patient. As I tell people that in our channel, we don't do breaking news. It's not important. We don't break news. Say, oh, we're sorry, that's saying that I don't do breaking news. Leave breaking news for people with the break up. So we'll still give him time and see. Yeah, but now I say Spurs are forever going to be shitty. Okay, that Yeye team in London, in fact, they are the most Yeye team. They are not going to do any surprise. I will still keep being shit. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Oh God! You know, if you don't know this child, you think she's very rude. The most decent human being you could ever see. Can't hurt to fly, but she's mean to Spurs. Uncle says, Uncle E, now I just see you well. Good morning, Uncle Me. I have a question. Oh, if we manage send Nketiah go Nottingham, do you still think Edu Arteta can do last minute striker transfer? I think that Arteta and Edu have created a team. Their body language says they will not buy a striker. Rather, they want a player. The way Arteta and Edu are going is a player that can play in multiple positions. They could get a player forward, but on the wide side, on the Bukayo Saka side, because it is Gabriel Jesus, it is Kai Havertz, and it could be any other person. And they just have this belief that Trossard could also play in that middle. Martinelli will score, Bukayo Saka will score. The highest goal scorer is always Bukayo Saka. So what's the essence of getting a striker? That's the thinking. Again, it is hard to fault it, because if you look at the fact that last season they were the second highest scoring team, and it was towards the end that changed. A team that scored four goals plus in most of their in quite a few of their games anyway. It's hard to argue for a striker, but I think that they need another midfielder. Yes, if they can get the Mikel Merino deal through, it will be good because of the shift shaping that it will give the team in midfield. The defense is already solid, is saturated with quality, which is very, very good. So look at Zinchenko is playing good, but you know that if he put one foot wrong, there is Timbers to come and take over. There is Carafiori to take over. In centre back, those two can also take over there. Ben White cannot afford not to do well. There is Tomiyasu to take over. Timbers can also shift into that position. And then there is Kivior somewhere in all of this conversation. So that place is good. The midfield, right now, if the Ghana boy, Partey, goes out injured, we have a shortage, because Jorginho cannot play 5 straight games. So if he goes out injured, you now have an issue of adjustment. You now start thinking of bringing in Fabio Vieira, who is not ripe enough yet. So that becomes a problem. But if you have, for instance, you now have Mikel Merino, it means that you can rotate that team. Like when you had Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, David Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne. in one midfield, and then you now have those white guys of Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling, the other guy, the Algerian guy, Riyad Mahrez, and one other person on this side. So you can have all of that done. So that's the balance. If you get in Mikel Merino, and most likely get one player on the right. I know that the idea is to use Nwaneri as a backup, but if you get another experienced player, you know, the Mohamed Kudus, you cannot go get him anymore. Time is too late. But you get another white player there. I was thinking that they would make a pitch for Leroy Sané and bring him back to the Premier League. I mean, he's worked with Arteta before. But let's see how it goes. But I don't think that they will get a striker. I'll be very glad if they let Eddie Nketiah go. He's not going to add value. He's a player. I mean, you when you're running, you don't want to creep on your team. And that's exactly what Eddie Nketiah is. Eddie Nketiah is not one of those motivated players who wants to do something and grow his game. He just want to be there, answer the name of a footballer, earn salaries, and he's done. And I'm not shitting on him, but that's the evidence of what his game has been. It's no sign of improvement. At this stage, you should be asking that I want to leave. Olafat say, boss, on the MPFL, Amobi, the chairman of Rangers, general manager of Rangers International, said they would be back at the Cathedral if they get qualification into the group stage. Yeah, well, I spoke to him. They are working. Let's hope that they get that qualification first. Let them get the qualification first. He said, my question now is, what's the criteria or properties that makes a stadium fit to host a CAF or a CAF Champions League competition? That conversation is long. The show has ended. I think it's something that I'll send you a document on. It's a very long conversation, but your dressing room must be up to standard. The stadium security arrangement must be fine. The multiple exit position, a lot of things. The stadium must be in such a way that encroachment can be avoided. It's a whole lot. So your lightings must be perfect as well. Your press center must be perfect. The stadium, you know, there are certain things that you need to get right. They don't have it right now. Matthias Abba Jacob says, good morning to you. Good morning to you as well. Say good morning to you, Dafi. Great show today. I think Manchester United getting Ugarte on loan and obligation to buy next season would be a good deal. Would Paris Saint-Germain agree? That's the thing. They want you pay the money and get him outrightly or forget about it. Christopher Martin, they know now that you're desperate, so they will frustrate you. Christopher Martin say, I would love to see Lookman and Osimhen play together at PSG. That's not going to happen right now. Maybe next season. Olugben Gabamidele said, I watched Remo Stars against Alpha of Morocco. These guys that gave Remo Stars those goals are potential Eagles invitee. One is already invited to the Super Eagles. Long time I saw those type of connections with a Niger team since 1990. Remo Stars really does play good football. Their coach is good. Just hope that they continue to stay together. Matthias Abba Jacob say, Essie, as a player, how do you feel when you are being told that you are not going to be part of the coach? I've never experienced it, so I don't know. I don't know how that works. I've always been so let me tell you, in my entire life, first time I got sacked was Brilla. I used to tell people that in Brilla, Tipsy, Tokpeko used to call me untouchable. Because that's the kind of guy, and that's a feeling I have. I have this invisibility around me. I was born with it, I don't know. But I've never been fired before. I've never been like, surplus to requirements. And again, this is the hardest work I've done in my entire life. Again, I've never really, football people go for screening. They ask, hey, bros, help me talk to this person. I've never done that. Whether to go Europe, whether to play for Sharks, everything has just come very easy. Like, we saw this boy playing in this competition or this youth competition, this Obiakwa Community Cup, and I think he will sign. I was even doing Shakara. Man, I don't want this one. This is stress. I signed for Sharks. First 2 weeks, I don't go training. I don't collect their money. I don't buy motor. I don't go training. I'm just somehow like, do I want to play this ball? Is this really what I want to do? That's how my whole life was. I went to Sweden. Okay, let me tell you how it happened. That's a place where that almost happened. I went to Sweden. The coach that brought me in moved to FC Copenhagen before the season started. A new coach came in, brought in 6 players to the team, but 4 of those players were in my position. And the coach looked at me and told me that he would not play me ahead of these players, that these players are Swedish players, they deserve. He told me straight. And I looked at him back in his face and I told him, and then there are players that they don't know how to play football. They can't play football. That's why I said they can't play football. I said you will need me if you want to progress in this team. So we are done preseason before he came. We are done preseason. The president of the club watched all of our preseason. He's all those hands-on kind of president. Pierre Bergan was all, those kind of hands-on president. He's deeply involved in his team. But then he had this business trip to Russia when the season started. So the first 4 games he was not around. We drew 2 at home and lost the other 2. I didn't play. But they were, they record the match on VHS, cassette, and then keep for him. So when he came in, he watched the cassette. First question he asked is, why is that? I was the only black boy in the team. Why is the African boy not playing? I got to know that later because I wasn't there. And then he came, we're not playing, we're bottom of the log. We're playing against a team that were on top in week 5. And we're playing away. Now that guy who owned the team at the top happened to be his former business partner that they split. So there's a bit of rivalry. So he came in and the club president made sure the selection was changed because he watched our training all through the week. Jesus, boy, was I good. See, when you're young, you play football differently. When you're young, you have nothing to lose. And I didn't play football because I was hungry. I just know how to play football. So long story short, I was on the squad. And I remember telling the son, Raf, the son of the president, that we're going to win this game. Like I can guarantee we're going to win this game because me and I'm with it for a bicycle team. We were cycling team. When it's cycling, there's a cycling. The club also have a cycling team, but we're together. We're bicycle buddies. We ride bicycle, like go and come like that. So it was like, how you sure that these guys are good? They're winning games, winning everybody. They've won all their 4 games. I was like, we'll beat them. We'll beat them because we watched their 4 of their tapes. We watched them and I saw their left fullback. I was like, hey God, I'll kill this guy. Guess what? We beat them 5-1. They scored us first anyway. And it looked like, it's going to be like that. When we start, so for me, I've never been in that position. I've never really been in that position where I am not wanted. But I have worked with colleagues who have made it their job to make sure I struggle. I've worked with those kind of colleagues. It's not owners or management or coach. I've worked with colleagues who look at me and say, you two do yourself too much. We'll go mess you up. And I look at them like, that is us. So I'll be saying, I hear be your first work. Real life and I your first work. As I did, so I get almost 20 years working experience coming in some of the top organization, big organization, football club, company. I don't build airport wrong way before I come here. I don't own football club. You want to frustrate me. All these politics, I've done this one. I don't pass on this one. You understand? But say owners, I've always been like, why was I hated in Brilla? I was hated because the owner goes to dinner with me. That's how close we were. The owner goes to dinner. I call me. We go to Chinese restaurant. And when they are doing meeting, my name is, hey, why can't you be like Edafe? That's what got me hatred. So I can't answer this your question with all certainty. How do you behave? But there's just one thing I know in football that I will say. Football is like music. When you release a new album, a new song, you go out there begging people. When Timmy came out with his first single, Let It Shine, before he came out with a song, I used to tell him this. I said, Timmy, we'll be discussing, how do I get airplay? How do people play my song? When he won the Idols in 2007, things went downhill. It wasn't that winner that was over-celebrated. People said he was a man that's supposed to win it. A lot of things happened, court case, all that. Well, but when he started doing songs and he wanted to come out, I told him one thing. I said, for radio, the idea was you must go and play in Cool FM. That Foster was one of the judges of the Idols, right? And this was the word I told him. I said, listen to me, you don't pay to play good music. The reason people pay for music to be played is when the music is bad. And so, and it's a Jamaican saying when you use the selectors used to say, music nice, you play it twice. If you listen to a lot of old school Jamaica songs like Typewriter, Kotoranki, Louis Rankins, they always say that in the middle of the song, music nice, you play it twice, something like that, right? So, yeah, say, yeah, Mr. Selector, the music nice, yeah, gonna play it twice, yeah, man. So I've always had that at the back of my head because, again, I grew up on a lot of reggae, country music, and good music. So I told him that, I said, listen, just do good music. People will play it. You think Fela was begging people to play his music? It's the music of the people. Play music of the people. They would fall in love with you and play your music. And that's exactly what it is. If your music is bad, that's when you start paying DJs, paying people to play clubs, OAPs to play your music. So it's the same thing with about ability. If you're good, you can force the hand of coaches, and they'll go from not liking you to banking on you. And you can also be enemy with a coach. I think that you can be an enemy to a coach and still be playing in his team, especially if they want to win. You can be that good. Dennis Beckham was, fighting with his coach sometime in Ajax, and it was always on the starting level. So you don't have to be friends. Samuel Eto'o was enemies with Pep Guardiola. He scored 30-something goals in a season. So sometimes these things happen. I'm just saying. But people, we live in a generation where everybody's looking for one small excuse to, the coach don't like me. That's why people make excuses for their failures, their inadequacies. I don't belong to that group. So it's going to be hard for me to really answer these questions because I don't see life like that. I'm sorry. Well, this is where we draw the curtain on the show today. My name is Idafe Matthew. You love to call me the Leicester on the spot. Thank you very much for everyone who joined in on this, who click on the like button, who drop in a comment, who click on subscribe button if you've not subscribed. God bless you and have for yourself a wonderful and amazing day. Bye-bye.